I want to cover some of these charts real quick with you guys, answer a lot of questions that I've got over the past few days. So Bitcoin 4-hour chart, USDT. So Bitcoin showing some life here, broke above 4,000. There's some resistance around 4140 as well. That's going to be important. It's really important that, obviously Bitcoin, the 4-hour candle actually did open, and hopefully we needed to close above 4,000 for confirmation of this breakout. Want to talk real quick about, so Tron, here's a chart that I made just to make a few points. This is a 15-minute chart. A lot of times I use, an hour, mainly the 4-hour chart, but then you can always zoom in and zoom out on these. You want to look at a bunch of different time frames on these cryptos just to kind of get a different perspective. So here you've got a triangle. We've got 1, 2, you could maybe call it 3 touches here if we count these wicks. 1, 2, 3. So you got enough touches on the bottom and on the top, so we can confirm this triangle pattern at this point because it just moved down and touched down here. So you've got your triangle. Now this is a continuation pattern and this is an uptrend, so we should continue higher. Again, not always. The problem with these bullish patterns in a bear market is they don't play out as often as they would in a bull market. So bearish, you got bearish divergence down here, just to show you an example. So the increasing price, so this peak is lower than this peak. Down here on RSI, this peak is higher than this peak. So you've got increasing price action and you've got decreasing strength. And sure enough, look what happens right after bearish divergence. You get a huge fall off in price. Then you get a double bottom, a double V-shaped bottom. So then I took this white line, drew it across here, and that's essentially where you're buying the breakout from. So you buy the breakout of the move higher right when it reaches this point, okay? So you've got where this and the middle of it line up, and then you would basically buy the breakout here. Didn't get a whole lot of volume, but the volume came in shortly after. Volume's good confirmation on this. So again, double bottoms, double tops are the opposite. They break to the downside. A lot of people asking about XRP. Where do I set stop losses? Okay, so XRP, draw the pattern real fast. Let me show you on drawing these triangles. So the most important part is you want to basically start from this area and work back in time. Okay, so the most important touches on this triangle are going to be in the beginning, and then you're going to work backwards. So you wouldn't want to draw, say, from here to here, because you're skipping all this when you could potentially pick it up like this. Okay, so you can get more touches there in the beginning of it and then draw the triangle. Okay, so you want to get these. You can use wicks or candle bodies. I would pick one or the other, and then it's really just kind of whatever looks better. I mean, you can see there's a pretty good line on these wicks right here, so I'm going to use wicks in this situation. Okay, so you got your triangle now. So you have to continue. You have to assume that the trend is going to continue in this triangle until it doesn't. So what does that mean? You have to assume it's going to bounce in this triangle until you get a breakout. So this is a symmetrical triangle. There's not really, it could break out either way. Put your stop loss down here and play the range, just depending. I don't want you guys forcing a bunch of trades right now. You guys are just learning. It's like going in as a surgeon to a hospital and going to do surgery. Like if you don't know what you're doing, the person's probably won't end up doing too well. Your trades won't either, okay? So take a step back. Like trading this stuff right now, I'm all tether. All the smart money institutions, the reason why there's no volume, because they're not trading it. This market is not very friendly. The chances of, especially the way we're trading, we're spot trading long positions. So we're trading really against the overall bearish trend, which definitely is 1,000 times more difficult than it will be in the future. So I really want everybody to just work on improving. I would go through it and I would watch every single video. Like there comes a point where I'm going over a lot of the stuff that's already been covered in the videos, and what I want to go over is questions that you have about the videos. Like a lot of the new people in the group, you guys are behind, and I want you guys to catch up. So this is the fastest way. You're just going to have to trust me. on this. You know, I've done this before. I do this all the time. I help people with TA all the time. You just have to trust me. Like, okay, Chris said to do it. Gut it out. Watch the videos. There's going to be a ton. I would go back in announcements and I'd look through all the charts. There's so much studying and data that has to be done. Trading is secondary. Definitely, if you're going to trade, I would trade with small amounts. Like, if there's, you know, good setups that pop up, I'm going to post them. But trying to force these trades right now, you got to let the trades come to you. I wouldn't try to force these trades. So, okay, back to XRP. So what I would do here is, in a different market type situation, if the market conditions were a little better, I would open a position down here. You could open a position here. Okay, this is not very safe. I'm in all profits, right? I took the money that I put in 2017. I took out of the market all the money that I started with, all my starting capital. I finished up 312% this year. I took a bunch of money out and I put it in the bank. I'm still in all profits. I got a bunch of tether. The key is, if you've been losing money in this market, there's a reason why. So you have to change what you're doing. And that's why you guys are in this group ultimately. So you really have to learn. This is a whole new scenario for most people, this trading idea. And so even if you just take $100, $50 and trade with that and just work on trading, because just like anything in life, the more you do something, the better you get. So you're really going to improve really fast over time. So I would just consider, you know, wherever your money's at, if you're a holder, you just leave it. Like, it's hard to say. No one really knows what direction we're going right now. It's kind of, you know, really wait and see. As far as, are we going to move higher? I think we're going to get a run up at some point to 4,500, 5,000 possibly. I really think we're going to come back down and retest 3,000. You know, so I'm not worried about. I'm not trying to catch the bottom on these cryptos. I'm not trying to catch the top either. The money in crypto is made, and trading in general, the money is made in the middle. I want confirmed uptrends. I don't want to lose any money. Okay, so on that, sorry to get off on that tangent. So now, XRP. So you could buy here, and you put your stop loss down here. Okay. Now, when you're setting your stop loss, you got to go through it. Watch the video on support and resistance, drawing support and resistance. So you've got support here, there's support here, support here, support here, and there's probably a lot more support if you go back over here, okay? But how do you find this support? Okay, the price ran up here and then got rejected. Price came down here and bounced off here. Support, resistance, and these lines are one and the same. Previous support becomes future resistance and vice versa. So here you got support, here's support, here's support, there's support here, some here. Okay, so you got all these lines. So there's a good chance that you're going to get a bounce off of those support lines. Now this trend line that you drew with the triangle is also support. So you're essentially looking for a bounce here and a move higher. Okay, so you could play this range. It's risky. If you're going to sit there, if you have time to watch it, that's one thing. If you're going to try to set it and walk away, that's another. In the beginning, like, this is something you try it out with $10. You imagine it's 10,000. Try it out with $10. Use the exchange you normally use, and the best setup is to buy the breakout on this triangle. So with that, you're buying the breakout. Okay, so the price action comes up through here and breaks out. You get a big volume spike down here and you buy the breakout. Okay, and then it comes back down and it retests and it's going to bounce again, so that you could buy more here, or you could make this your initial position. This is the safest. The retest, buying the retest, is the safest trade to make on these triangles. Okay, again, this is really about saving the capital that you have. If we're going to 10x right now, I don't want you to lose $1,000, because that's going to cost you $10,000 in the long run. So you just have to look at it like that. All the money that you have is going to be exponentially increasing over time. So you're watching this. The support and resistance is answered. On the triangles, I answered that. Tron. Let's go back through some of this questions. Oh yeah, you guys, a lot of people are sending me DMs. If this is not something super personal, post it in group, because everybody can benefit from it. Everybody's asking me a lot of the same questions in DM. Go ahead, put it in group. I'll answer everybody at the same time. And other people are going to see your question and they're going to gain knowledge from the answers on it. So let's see. This is just a chart I want to talk about real quick. So this is back in November 2013. You can see we had a buying climax. Market cycles is easy. It's really important to understand. So you've got your accumulation phase, your markup, and then this is distribution. This is where basically big institutions are selling. They don't want to sell everything, and the bottom falls out of the market. So they use bots and they sell really slow, Comes down here, and this is accumulation again. Okay, and then slowly over time you get markup. I really want you to notice this. We had a bear market back in 2013, 2014, for over a year, but then we moved sideways for a period of time. But then the bull market was 21, 22 months. So it's a long situation. These are going to be good to trade the altcoins because you don't have to worry about Bitcoin falling. Like, we're going to get into a situation where it's going to be a lot better. This market's going to be a lot easier to trade. And that's why you got to take the time right now, quit trading, start learning. I'm not saying sell your positions. I'm just saying whatever's going to happen with that, you've already been doing it. It's already down. We're a lot closer to the bottom than we are the top. Okay, so I think you'll be fine there. Is it possible we move lower? Yes. Could we go to 3,000? Could we go to 2,000? Yes, we can. Anything's possible. As soon as you think something's not possible in crypto, it happens. So you basically, we're going to get this long accumulation phase. It might be 6 months, it might be a year, but what we won't be doing is continually falling in price. And these alts are going to run in here. So that's positive news. It's just going to take some time. This market, there's a lot of bullish sentiment in this market right now. A lot of people are positive about crypto, and bear markets do not end like that. We're going to be in a situation where everybody's like, I quit. I'm done with this. Crypto is garbage. Everybody's frustrated. Everybody's mad. Everybody hates it. And then slowly institutions will start buying. And then over a course of, people kind of forget about it. They'll kind of phase, crypto is forgotten. It's not mentioned in the news very much. And then slowly institutions will start buying behind the scenes during that time. And then basically the market cycle starts over again, and we start to move higher very slowly. And then retail investors are going to jump in after institutional investors kind of peak the price up. And then all the retail investors are going to, basically there's going to be a mania stage. We're going to peak out, go to all-time highs again. It's going to be crazy. And then it's going to lose 90% again. It's just going to happen. Same cycle. So we're going to have a whole new wave of money coming in, but it might be a year or more before we reach all-time highs again. I think it will be. I think we've got some time for this market to really turn around and correct itself. Probably not what you want to hear, not what I want to tell you, but I want to go to the moon tomorrow, but it's not going to happen. So I don't use very many of them. Okay, so first one I just used was if you have a bunch of stuff on your screen and you want to delete it, you hit the garbage can. If you hit the I with a cross, it will take it off the screen. So if you want to look at the chart without any stuff on it, hit this. Trash it here. I'll use this. This was where you draw your line segments. And then it's important, try to go up here, change the color to something more. I think it starts off like some hideous green, so it's hard to see. Go up here, change it to white, so it's something you can see, okay? Then you've got, I use Alt-H as well. So Alt-H, if you want to set your support lines. So here, let's look at this. You'll have support here, support here, support here, support here, support here. So basically means the price came down, bounced off, price bounced off, price bounced off, price bounced off. Okay, so now mark that. So then you go here and you want to mark this as a support line. Click the left mouse button, mark it. And then after that, so here you've got, ran up here and it hit a resistance line. Draw it. Here it hit support right here. Draw it. Alt-H, Alt-H, Alt-H. And you can go up here. Sometimes you can use rectangle if you have just a ton of, I'll call it noise, where there's just a ton of spots where, like in here in the future, there's going to be a ton of support and resistance in here. So instead of drawing 1,000 lines going forward, so this would be if we were in forward in time and you're trying to use support and resistance right here. So you could just draw the rectangle, okay? So all your shapes are right in here. I don't really use a whole lot of them. I'll use triangles on double bottoms, double tops, and basically it's just, you're drawing these triangles. Just, this is not really anything but just to show you guys. if this is a Head and Shoulders, how you get your, that's what I use triangles for. And then you can go in, you can set the darkness of the triangle, see how it's completely solid versus light. It takes time. Charts take a little bit of time. You can change the outline colors. Basically, you're going to use these line segments. You may use vertical lines. I don't really use them a whole lot. Parallel channels. If you get a channel you want to draw, you can draw a channel like that. Okay. I don't really use those a whole lot either. I'm just using a bunch of easy, simple lines so that it's easy for you guys to read. You could spend an hour making a chart. Well, if you're busy and you want to make, I'd rather make 4 charts than 1. So, all right, your brush, this is where you just draw with lines. Again, your rectangle, I'll draw circles a lot if I want to put a price target somewhere. Again, you can go through and change. And you could obviously manipulate the circle. Text, I use this obviously all the time. Click on the text, click what you want to type. You can change your color here. You can change your size, font size. I use these arrows a lot. Let me show you how to use callouts real quick. So you click on, if you want to mark this channel and you want to write, whatever you want to type about it, then you've got everything marked right here. Okay, so that's a call out. You can go to price label, click on a candle, and it will show you the price right where you're at. Okay, you move it over here, it'll show you the price wherever you go on the screen, wherever that dot's at. Okay, this is in USDT, so that's USDT pricing. These arrows, I don't normally use these arrows because they're small. You can. I like these arrows, I use a lot. And then you can manipulate them if you're trying to draw something. If you go down here, you can draw on your RSI too. You can't pull off the RSI to the price action though. So, then again, there's tons of icons if you want to use those. You can zoom in over here. Magnet, I don't really use it. It snaps all your lines to the price action. And that's about it. Let me real quick cover this. So this is how you change your chart. You want a 12-hour chart. It's always important to check. So again, I with a line through it turns all the nonsense off the screen. 12-hour chart. This is how you adjust your X and Y axis. And then so if you're trying to kind of straighten things out, fit more on the screen, you can bunch it up. So you got 12-hour chart and it's real small and everything fits on the screen. Okay. It's always good. I always recommend everybody zooms out. Take time and realize that we're in this huge bear market on the weekly chart. Again, you're in this huge bear market. So just kind of keep an idea of where we're at as far as overall macro trends. Up here, you go to indicators. You want RSI, relative strength index. When you add it, it's not very pleasing to the eye. So you go in here. This is show and hide. The eye is show and hide. You want to go to format, go to style, pick your color. I like yellow. Your size, I don't like going too thick. And then you want to always, on RSI, you want to change it to 80 and 20. That's your top. So this will show you overbought at 80 and 20 is at oversold. This is always a real good. RSI is probably one of my favorite indicators, so definitely recommend that you use it. You've also got a bunch of other indicators in here, MACD. And again, you can just put them on the screen if you want to use them. Let me see if I've got some other news I want to cover. I'm trying to think of everybody's questions. Yeah, when you're figuring out stop losses, you really want to find some good support and resistance. I've got videos on that. Like I said, watch those videos and then ask me questions based on what you see in the videos. Ethereum. So I covered this the other day, last night actually. So I posted, and you kind of have to read between the lines here, okay? I don't have a financial license for financial advice. I'm not a licensed advisor, so you kind of have to. It's not. None of this is financial advice. This is the bounce, and I posted this last night, where we need a bounce from ETH here. This is the chart I just made recently. So you got, see how you find your support, and it bounced right off that support. Okay, so you would, if you wanted to trade this, you would open your position here on the bounce, and then you put your stop loss down here beneath some support. I wouldn't, if you're watching it, here's a bunch of support right here. See this. So you can't have your stops too tight. However, the risk to reward ratio is here, because if you get, you'll catch one of these long wicks that institutions and whales do this on purpose, and you'll get stopped out. So you have to be mindful about that. We could see, and so here's the post. So this is the bounce that Ethereum needed. We could see a run up to the Constantinople fork and a sell off possibly 36 hours before the fork. Buy the rumor, sell the news. So, someone asked, are you saying to buy Ethereum? There are so many variables that go into buying. That's why these call groups don't work. It's because probably you're at work, you're sleeping when stuff needs to be done. Like, you have to know. My idea of this group is to give you the tools, give you the fishing pole, and teach you to fish, and it will help you for the rest of your life. Versus feed you the fish. And a lot of the fish are going to die. They're not going to make it because you're not going to be there to take part in it, or you're going to miss the call. You're a little bit off on this. Like, if you're buying here versus buying here, all of a sudden you got some downside. So you got to be there at the right time. So watching these charts and really trading, short-term trading in a market like this. When I trade, I'm at the computer 10 hours a day, which right now I'm at the computer 10 hours a day. Making sure you guys are taken care of, and obviously YouTube as well. So you always ask questions, but you really have to take the time to watch these videos. There's all the ones with the new thumbnails. Go back to those and start. There's a real good one right before the new thumbnails, which I explained in the welcome video, just kind of explaining candlestick patterns. And we're going to go over a little bit more of that in group coming up. So there's a ton of stuff to cover, and you really have to do a lot of work, footwork on your own as far as watching these videos. Everybody who just came in the group's behind. So in order to catch up to speed, I need you to watch all the videos. I'm going to give you a book to read as well. And just in your spare time, instead of trying to figure out where to trade, and if you're not making a ton of money and killing it, then you're just spinning your wheels. You might as well invest the time in learning how to trade this market. I appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon.